Hey guys, it's Kels back at it again with another video, another Friday night live. I promised you that each and every Friday night I would go live, show my face. So here I go back at it again for week 40, consistent of our Friday night lives. Now you don't know the deal. Come on in, come on in, come on in. Let me know where you are watching from and what you are sipping on, whether or not you're watching us live or if you're watching us as a part of the replay gang. All right. So appreciate you guys so much. Come on in. Now let me check. Also, let me know if you can hear me, you can see me, everything like that is going well. Let me hop on over and make sure you guys know I have a monitor in front of me. So I want to make sure that we're coming in clear. Yes, it's looking like we are. All right. Yes, it's looking like we are. It's looking like we are. So, yes, another Friday night. We are in the last Friday of September. The last week. Matter of fact, today, what is today? Today is the last day of September in our year of the Lord 2022. Is that how y'all say that? Is that how they say that? Yeah, we're on September 30th, the last Friday, the last day of September in 2022, or whenever you're watching this. This is when it's being recorded. So, oh my gosh, we are on to the last quarter of 2022. We made it. We made it, y'all. We made it. By the skin of our teeth, we're still here, but we made it. You know what I mean? And just really proud of the collective being able to keep our word and going week by week consistently, showing our faces, learning from the collective wisdom of the It's Kels community each and every Friday night from the top of the year to the bottom of the year. We're on our way to week 52. This is week 40. Consistent. You know what I mean? It's the consistency for me. You know what I mean? And so appreciate the love and the support of you guys being here riding with us. Again, whether or not you are watching live or if you're catching us or as a part of our replay gang, drop this emoji in the chat, in the comments, because you know our replay gang is strong around these parts. Replay gang is strong around here. You know what I mean? So appreciate you either way. I am sipping on still with the H2O, still with the water, lubricating the throat chakra, keeping it moisturized, keeping it juicy, juicy, you know what I mean? And yeah, so that's what I'm sipping on today. And you know, we normally do our cheers right at the top of the broadcast. So what are we going to be cheersing today? You see the subject line already. I dropped in the subject line of tonight's video. It is how and why to keep track of your magic. Right. And this is what you guys voted for. This week we reinstated the voting. And so it's not just my idea of like exactly what we're going to talk about tonight. You guys chimed in as well. And honestly, I love that. But for the last couple of nights, the last couple of kickbacks, I just was like, you know what? This is really what's going hard for me right now. So this is what we're going to talk about. But this week I was like, let's give the people an option. Let's give the collective, let's reinstate the collective's option. And so that's what we did tonight. All right. So you guys voted on Instagram and YouTube. I'm still going to give you a little bit of a background on what I was thinking, you know, what came up in real life that inspired the 3 topic options that you guys voted through tonight. And then we'll get into the thick of the thick and talk about the exact topic that you guys voted for, which, as you can see by the subject of this video, y'all are interested in how to keep track of that magic. All right, so we're going to get into it. But before we get into that, let's do our cheers. Let's do our cheers. Tonight we are cheersing to, let's cheers to magic. Let's cheers to personal power. Let's cheers to remembering that you actually are magic. And that we're going to put it to some good use tonight. And we're just going to talk through the thing and see how we feel about it. All right. So tonight, let's cheers to the last day of September, and let's cheers to our personal power and our magic as we get into October, which you know is my favorite. Halloween is my fave. So how fitting for us to start talking about magic as we step out of September and into October. All right. So clink, clink, clink. Cheers to our personal magic. Yes. Oh Oh my gosh. How have you guys been feeling for the week? I see you watching. Chime in the comments. Let me know where you're watching from, what you're sipping on, and smash that like button as you come in. Show support for the doll. Appreciation is always there for you, for supporting the channel. Free and easy way to support the content, to support the channel, and to support our consistency on this our 40th week. How's the week been feeling for you guys? Let me know in the comments, chime in, let me know what you're feeling. This week has felt, let me take a sip, actually, some more sips. Yes. This week for me has felt good. It's not been without its challenges, but it's definitely felt good. I still felt a little bit like not full power this week. According to my feminine calendar, should have been like super powerful and forward momentum for me, and like getting stuff done and super inspired and super fiery and just energized vitality this week. But for some reason, I felt still a little bit more contemplative, still a little bit more like slower, easier, and a little bit not as focused as I thought I would have been this week. But I really chalked that up to at the being at the tail end of Mercury retrograde, plus the five other planets that are retrograding right now. So I feel like the environment is just kind of forcing us to slow down and be a little bit more reflective and contemplative and not rush like we normally do and do things completely blindly because we're rushing and not paying full attention. So I do feel like this week for me had been like, okay, slow down and revisit a lot of things that I had started or that I was working on that I thought, okay, signed, sealed, delivered. I actually go back, revisit it, re-talk about the issues, re-elevate the issues and all of those things. You know what I mean? It's kind of like this review session week as opposed to like this complete forward momentum week for me. So I definitely chalk that up to a lot of the Mercury retrogrades and then all the other 6 planets that have been in retrograde. Also, we had this ginormous Cat 4 hurricane that just ripped through the western part of the Caribbean and then crossed across Florida. If you are watching, if you're a part of the collective and you have been in Florida, chime in, let us know how you weathered. Hopefully everything went well for you and you're safe and sound and you hunkered down well. So it was just a matter of riding him out, Ian, and getting through the storm safely. So definitely let us know if you're based in Florida, how that went for you. Is your electricity back up? Hopefully there's no home damage or physical damage. Everything is good. And now it's just a matter of restoration, a matter of cleaning up, clearing out the old debris and restoring your home, restoring your energy after this storm has come through and shook shit up, shook it up. So hopefully, your process of restoration after Ian is going well. So definitely give me a thumbs up on the video, leave me a comment, smash that like button, something, raise a flag, whatever you got to do, drop something in the comments. Let me know how your process of restoration after Hurricane Ian has been. If you are a part of the collective based in South Florida, particularly that western part, Tampa, Fort Myers area, where the Hurricane Ian came through up into Orlando, Gainesville area, and all of that. Also, if you're part of the Carolinas and you're part of the collective and you're getting some remnants of Hurricane Ian, and now you're getting ready to restore your home, restore your yard, restore your energy to calmness after this hurricane, let us know in the comments as well. I definitely feel like hurricanes definitely come through and, let us know that things are changing, energy shifts, time to clear out the old debris, time to hunker down, clean up, get prepared as we move into something after the storm, right? It's a little bit of I feel like it's a little bit of a portal. It's a little bit of a before and after a hurricane. You never really know what you're going to get, especially when it comes up to being a Cat 4, them Category 4 hurricanes. When it was Cat 1, 2, I was like, all right, she's cute. Ian is cute. When it hit that Gulf water and jumped up to 3 to 4, I was like, Lord, hear our prayer. Oh, Cat 4 hurricanes is nothing to play with. Is nothing to play with. You know what I mean? So as a Floridian who no longer lives in the state, but Florida is near and dear to my heart, and low key, Florida is the best state in the union. Fight your mama on that. Don't fight me. I definitely had to extend my sincere prayers and well wishes for everybody who had to ride that Ian hurricane out. So hopefully everything was good and the collective is safe and sound, and we're in the process of restoration now. Yeah. Cheers, cheers, cheers to restoration and restoring ourselves to wholeness. Yeah. All right. So we are how many minutes in? We're 10 minutes, 40 seconds in. 10:40 if you're into numbers like I am, into the kickback. So let's do our tried and true. Oh, also I want to say to you guys is moving forward, I really want you to pay really close attention to the drop the down box below our videos. I am going to be putting in some juicy information that you are going to want to have specifically based on our topics, on our kickbacks, and all of my videos moving forward. Just seeing 11:11 gateway on the clock if you're in the numbers like I am. 11:11 coming through strong. So I want you to keep a keen eye on the description box below each video moving forward. You guys know after our videos, I typically drop the timestamps, which allow you to click through the video and jump to the different chapters, jump to the different topics we talk about in our lives. And so that helps you like retain the information and help us learn from the collective wisdom of the It's Kels community and skip over the pieces that we feel are not particularly relevant to us. All of that, all of that, all of that, just as a convenience for the collective. And so I'm definitely going to keep doing that with the timestamps and just kind of like a little bit of a written narrative of what we talk about in the video. But I'm also going to be dropping some links, some information that you really, really, really gonna want to keep your eye on. So moving forward, be sure in all of our lives, all of our videos, whether you're watching us live or whether you're watching us on the replay, gang, be sure to keep an eye on the description box moving forward, because I'm gonna drop some gems, some goodies down in there too. All right. So let's do the topic rundown so y'all can know the 3 options that we voted on for this week. I can give you a little bit of background on what I was thinking. You like the hair? You like the drop curls today? Feeling like Curly Sue. Anyway, so that I can let you guys know what was coming up in the real life that inspired the different topics. So let's do that, right? So you guys know we do the voting on Thursday nights, aka Friday Eve over on Instagram. And we also do it on the community tab here on YouTube. So whenever I do drop options, I drop them in both places and you can vote on either one. Or if sometimes I'm just like not doing voting, I'm just gonna let you know what we're gonna talk about, I drop it there as well. So you can see on Friday Eve, aka Thursday, what we talking about for today. Okay. So let me just drop there we go. So let's look at, also I did a little bit of a reel. I did a little bit of a cute reel because I did hang out this week. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys, this week was a little bit of a busy week as well. I had a girlfriend in town from New York, formerly from Miami, formerly based in Atlanta. So she was in town and we definitely went over to a rooftop, a pool day rooftop situation here in Atlanta. And when I tell you it was chef's kiss sunset, chef's kiss day, little drinks, a little food, a little gentleman, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. And so I haven't been out and just like with friends in such a long time, and it was so nice to reconnect with her and reconnect with some new friends and taste some good food, get some good pictures. So I definitely did a little bit of a reel with some of the photos that she did. It was a total, like a whole impromptu photo shoot that sis did. But that what do you call that? Golden hour. Ooh, nothing to be played with. Sunset on the brown skin, golden hour, nothing to be played with. Okay. So definitely drop some of those pictures in a reel announcing our topics for tonight, our topic options. So if you ain't see that, slide on over to IG and take a look at that. So we only did 3 options for our Friday night kickback topic options this week. Still into our experimental phase. Since it's Mercury retrograde, trying stuff a little bit different. Some days we drop topics, sometimes we don't. This week we only drop 3 options. Most times we drop 4. So just seeing what the collective is interested in, what y'all like, and mixing it up a little bit just to be a little bit experimental with the thing. You know what I mean? Keep it fresh with the thing. You know what I mean? Freshness over here, yeah? So our 3 options, number 1 option was how and why to keep track of your magic. That came in at 50% of the vote. And that came up because I was watching something really interesting about keeping record of your manifestations and why that's important, how you might do that. And I thought that was such important information. And it was something, a practice that I really, really want to step up. I have a journaling practice, but I want to step up that recording your manifestations, recording your magic. And so I said, let me talk to the collective about that a little bit. Perhaps the collective already does this. It's an idea that y'all already been doing and I'm late to the game. Or perhaps it's something that I'm bringing to you and it's the first time that you're hearing of this. And so that's why we made it a topic option. We called it how and why to keep track of your magic. All right. So number 2 was how to meditate best and why it's necessary. And when I say necessary, I mean 100% necessary. That came in at 40% over on IG. And this came up because I have really gotten into my meditation, my alternate nostril breathing, my breath work, and it is a game changer. And I've known this for a while, and I've been doing it for a while, but I thought, you know what? I really need to bring this to the collective. I really need to let the collective know and remind them that it is 100% necessary to get in your bag, to get in your meditative bag, to reconnect, to plug in, you know what I mean? So that you can understand your intuition and your guidance that is always being delivered to you. That came in at 40%. I might have to do this video separately, regardless of what y'all voted on, because it is that important. So if you really want to hear about that, please drop me a comment below. Please smash the like button. Let me know if meditation and how to do it, pro tips on how to really do it, how to really get in your meditative bag, and why it's important. If you really want to hear that, drop me a comment. Drop me a comment and let me know you want to hear. Just put meditation in the comments and I got you. I got you. Okay. So that was number 2. And the third option for this week was, what's the secret power of your shadow self? What's the secret power of your shadow self? The reason why this came up this week is because I need y'all to know that with great light and with great brilliance comes great shadow. And people be trying to think, people be thinking that because somebody is bright and brilliant and light and jovial and connected to their youthfulness and things like that, and chooses to stay that warm and light and bright and sparkly, that they can't blow shit up. They most absolutely can. With bright light, with great light comes great darkness. That's your shadow side. So don't make the mistake. I kind of wanted to talk about, don't make the mistake of thinking that you could play with somebody who is brilliant and bright, taking their brilliant and brightness for naivete or simpleness, or taking it for granted, because they definitely can turn the light, cut that light and bring up the darkness, and you'll probably be a little bit shook. You know what I mean? So I wanted to talk a little bit about, okay, well, what's the purpose of that darkness? What's the purpose of that shadow self? Does it serve a purpose? And how can you derive value from the purpose of your shadow? Also, I felt my shadow jumping up this week too, because I saw something the rapper Trina had done, and she was bringing out some dark Miami energy. The way she was spitting in some, seems like she's gonna be in some sort of a wrestling match or something, and she was spitting some real Miami, like, the way she was talking was like, woo, that's Miami right there. It's like, don't play with her. And it just got me in my shadow self a little bit. And I was like, you know what? I need to give my shadow some more airtime. My shadow got me out of a lot of situations. My shadow really been there. So, I felt like we needed to give the shadow a little bit of a shine. But you guys only voted for that for 10%. I don't know if you really knew what I was talking about there, but I threw it out there. So now that I've explained it, if you're interested in hearing about that, drop shadow in the comments and let me know if that's something that you guys want to talk about as well. So if you want to talk about shadow next time, drop shadow in the comments. If you want to talk about, what did I say? If you want to talk about how to meditate, drop meditate in the comments. And but tonight we are getting into a magic. So if you're here for your magic and us talking about that, how to keep record of it, to keep track of it, and why it's important to do so, drop magic in the chat and let me know you're riding with us on this topic, this it's Kel's collective chosen topic. I'm seeing familiar faces in the building. I'm seeing DB. Hey DB, how are you? Good to see you. What are you chefing up tonight? What's on the menu for tonight's dinner? I'm hungry. As a matter of fact, I just made myself hungry. Okay. So now that we've done our topic rundown, let's get into what we mean by tonight's topic. Yeah. Let's get into what we mean. Y'all know I have my little notes here. I got to have my little notes because, I don't want to be on here talking fully nonsense. But, I don't have a lot of time to prepare because it's based on what you guys voted. So I only had like a few hours to kind of pull this together. And so we're going to still make it do what it do, my little notes here. Okay. DB doing the fiance thing, pulling down braids, man life. Look, not everybody's able. Not everybody got a boo like that. You know what I mean, DB? Not everybody has a boo like that. So good for you. Good for you and good for her. Love that. I love that for you guys. Okay. So let's start here. How and why to keep track of your magic. What do we mean by magic? Your magic. What do we mean by your magic? When I say your magic, I'm talking about your ability, seeing 222 on the clock, actually 2222 on the clock. When we say magic, we're talking about your ability to tap into your intuition, and to actually be receptive and hear your inner guidance and your intuitive guidance. That's one. Also, where it's about how you're able to take magic is also about. So first, magic is about your intuitive guidance and how receptive you are to your intuitive guidance and your inner hearing, being able to receive that information from your inner self. It is also about your magic is also your ability to manifest. When we say manifest, we're talking about bringing things from the non-physical, from the nebulous, from the ethers, from thought into form, into the material, right? Into density, right? So that's what we're talking about when we're saying manifest. You can manifest, when we say manifest is your magic, right? So it's essentially what to manifest. That's like your intuitive guidance. And that's a part of your magic. And then how to manifest, how you manifest. That's your physical ability to be magic, to be a magician, right? And so I know that's a little bit like we're getting into. So this is week 40 of our Friday Night Kickbacks, and we started this out talking about young Miami and the city girls, and now we're talking about how to be an alchemical magician. Okay, that's how life go. Onward and upward. You feel me? So your ability to be a magician, your ability to take things from thought, from the seed of a thought, from the nebulous, from the ethers, and bring it into physical manifestation where you can see it, touch it, taste it, feel it, hear it. You know what I mean? And so that's what we mean by manifesting, materializing things. Yeah. So if you're saying, okay, your magic, that's what we're talking about. That's what we're talking about when we say magic. going from the nebulous to the material, and all of those things, going from a thought to an actual physical manifestation of something that you could either touch, taste, hear, or smell, something with your senses. Yeah. And it doesn't have to only be a material thing like a car or a house or a bag or something like that. It can be whatever your goal is that you're manifesting. It could be, a healthier mindset. It could be a healthier body. It could be, what could it be? It could be a lover. It could be, um, health of, your household or your children or something like that. It doesn't have to necessarily be something physical like clothes, car, money, or anything like that. Anything that you want, that you have the idea of wanting or desiring, and being able to bring that into your life, breathe life into it. That is a part of your magic. Right? That is a part of your manifestation process. That is a part of you tapping into your intuitive knowledge, your inner hearing, and knowing what and how to manifest, and how it aligns with your deep desires, right? So that's what we're talking about when we say magic, your magic, your magic. Last week we talked about process, right? And last week we talked about how your process is your secret sauce. Your process is your magic. You know what I mean? It's how you bring things from the ethereal, from the nebulous into the physical. And so now we're talking about how to keep track of your magic, why it's necessary to keep track of your magic. So how to do it and why it's necessary to do so. Okay. So now that we talked about what we mean by your magic, what we mean by magic, let me just say to you, this thing that they always say, like, if you want something to grow, you track it, you keep count of it, you pay attention to it. They usually talk about it. Sometimes I would hear it at work a lot. So they talk about it probably in school a lot too. It's like, if you want something to do better, if you want something to grow, if you want something to do better, keep track of it. Keep track of it. Keep record of it. Put it in an Excel document or something. Keep record of it. Keep checking in on it. You know what I mean? Put some quantifiable thing to it. You know what I mean? And so this is the same kind of thought that we're talking about when we're saying how and why to keep track of your magic. If you want it to grow, if you want clear evidence of it, if you want to understand it better, if you want to recognize that you even are magic, that you're even a powerful being that has command over magicianship, keep track of it. What if I told you all of us was magic? What if I told you that magic is not just something that you see David Blaine doing, or David Copperfield doing, or who else is Sigrid and Roy, or whatever their name is? What if I told you that that's magic? Absolutely. But the magic we're talking about here is the magic of manifestation. The magic of taking your ideas and bringing them from a seed in your mind to something concrete right in front of you. You know what I mean? And so, that is what we're talking about here. That is what we're talking about here. And so if you want to see evidence of your magicianship, if you want to see evidence of how powerful you are, your personal power, keep track of it. Keep track of it. Write it down. Pay attention to it. Pay attention to it. Because what you pay attention to grows. What you put your focus on grows. What you keep track of grows. I know we've heard it. They usually talk about this in terms of your bank account. Keep track of your pennies. Keep track of your money. Keep on a schedule. Keep a plan. You need a plan. All of those ways are saying keep record of what you're looking at so that you can amplify it, that you can enhance it, so that you can see where you are started from and where you ended up at, current state to future state. You know what I mean? So all of those are ways that is the reason why it's important to keep track and keep record of your magic, of your manifestation, of your personal power, of your intuitive receptivity. I always point to my ear because it's a hearing, but it's an inner hearing. It's an inner knowing. Clear audience, clear cognizance. You know what I mean? If you know what those mean, right? And so keep track of it and it will grow. Put your attention on it and it will grow. It'll show you evidence of it. In fact, just the process of writing it down is a manifestation in itself, because you're going from something that's a thought that only you have access to, right? To writing it down, and now it is visible and it's manifested on paper. So the process of just even writing things down is a manifestation, is evidence of your power in itself, your ability to take something from a thought that has no physical form to bringing it into the physical. Bringing it into the physical. It is a breadcrumb. It's showing you that, oh, I do have that ability. I do have the ability to manifest. I do have the ability to pull from a thought, bring it into physical, to pull from the ethers, to pull from the nebulous and bring it into physical manifestation. That is your breadcrumb. It's your crumb to show you that, oh, that's what you're doing. Yes, that's what you're doing. That's what you're doing when you're writing. You know what I mean? It's evidence as a breadcrumb of your ability to manifest. Is your ability to be a magician and to be the creator of what you want to see here, of what you want to taste, touch, feel here, right? So does that make sense? I hope that's making a little bit of sense. I hope that's making sense. As we've gotten into, I will say this, as we've gotten into these more like esoteric topics, y'all get quiet in the chat, but the replay gang gets super, super strong. So I'm just watching how the tides kind of move as we get into these topics that are like personally empowering. They're a little bit different, that are a little bit different than what you would normally hear people talking about, but that are actually a bit more personally empowering and actually do drop a seed of like, wait, what? We can what? What she's talking about? What does that mean? That seed of curiosity. Because once you start asking those questions, once you start getting that inquisitive mind about anything that we talk about here, that is when you actually get the answers. So look for evidence in those. Fiance, I'm getting big up from fiance. Fiance say, Guan, speak the truth. Okay. I'm feeling like the fiance is from some island. You know what I mean? And it's an island thing around here. So, all love for the fiance. So, all right. So, okay. So we talked about that. So we talked about what we mean by magic, what we mean by your magic. And we talked a little bit about even just the idea of writing something down, keeping track of something amplifies it. Right. And just the idea, the physical act of writing something down is your breadcrumb of your ability to manifest, is your ability to be the creator and orchestrator in your life, because you're already taking something from the idea form, which is the seed of a manifestation, idea form, which is the seed of a manifestation, and planting it and sprouting it as a manifestation. This little inkling of it, just by writing it down. Just by keeping track of it. Kingston, Jamaica in the building. What's up? Jamrock in the building. All right. So now that we know what we mean by magic and manifestation and what we're talking about there, seeing 333 on the clock, now let's talk about how you might do that. And there's usually 3 ways, and people talk about this, and you might be tired of hearing about this, but I'm gonna talk about it again. And I'm gonna tell you a little bit a story of how I fell out of doing this thing and how I found my way back to doing this thing and what an impact it has made in my life. And the 3 things are gratitude journal, a regular journal, and then a manifestation journal. All of these things have to do with writing down your experiences, the patterns, the synchronicities, the things that you're thinking, the things that you're experiencing in your life, and why it's important to keep. That's how you keep record, by writing. Now, some people do journaling by typing on a computer. I personally think it is very important to take your fingers, if you are blessed with them, or whatever your instrument you are blessed with to write with, and putting this paper with your energetic hand, a pen onto paper. I think that's very, very, very important when you're writing things down and keeping track of things. There's something very connecting to you actually putting the words on paper, as opposed to when you type them. Now, if you're a better typer or you want to do voice notes, because I do voice notes, I do type, I do voice notes, but primarily I journal by writing it down, because there's something a bit more empowering about the written word. And so gratitude journals, I'm sure you've heard of, where it's like, okay, write down 5 things that you liked today that went well and all of that. And okay, fine, you can definitely do that. And the reason why people are asking you to do that is because they want you to amplify your appreciation. Because when you're in that vibration of appreciation, your manifestations come in easier. I don't know if y'all heard that before, but that's why they ask you to do a gratitude journal and write down everything. And I'm here for that. I'm here for that. Then you have your regular journal, which is just things that you're thinking about for that day, or you might just do free writing, or you might do writing after you come out of your meditation and you write down the things that you saw or you heard or you felt in your dreams or in your meditation. You might have a dream journal and things like that. You might have to be a poetry journal or something like that, where you're writing what's coming up for you in whatever form it came up for you. And I think that's really important too, is to have kind of just a freehand journal. But to keep track of your magic, you might want to, and if you're not interested so much in the gratitude journal, and maybe you're not so much interested in the freehand journal, or just the regular blank journal, perhaps you want to write down or have a manifestation journal. A manifestation journal. This is where you write down the things that you have been able to manifest into your life. This is how you keep track of your magic, by writing it down, by keeping record of all the things that were in your life once just an idea or a wish or a hope, that now are absolutely present in your life. Do you know how powerful it is to have a manifestation journal and to look back through your journal at all of the things that you only had wished for or that you had wanted, and to be able to one by one recognize when they come into your life and check them off? You'll never be scared again of manifesting the bigger things or the next things if you actually had a record, if you actually had written down every manifestation that you've had in the past. Imagine that. You wouldn't be scared, because then it would be record of how powerful you are. It would be tangible evidence of how things are always working out for you. It will be tangible evidence of how of a powerful creator, a powerful magician you are, if you wrote it down in your own personal manifestation journal. If you kept record, if you kept track of your magic by writing it down. Imagine flipping back just 3 months, just 1 year, and looking at all the things that you wanted that you only could dream of a year ago, and recognizing that, holy smokes, 99.9% of what I wanted or what I was trying to manifest or that I was trying to bring into my life last year is now here. Wouldn't you feel like a boss? Wouldn't you feel like a master magician? Wouldn't you step into your power? Wouldn't you feel in your bag? In your bag, you know what I mean? Keeping track of your magicianship, of your power, of your ability to manifest. Yeah. I think one of the ladies that I was watching is Shira. If you guys are into OGs on YouTube, is Shira7, and she said, have a record of your actual power. Have a record of your actual she was talking about your magicianship, your ability to manifest, right? Is a testament. This is what she said. These are her words. Have a record of your actual power is a testament to yourself of who you really are, of who you really are, of what you can really accomplish. Your thoughts materialized into the physical, spiritually transmuting into the physical. your alchemy skills. When she says spiritually transmuting into the physical, it's that thought thing, right? Because your thoughts are nebulous. They're not a physical form. It's a spiritual thing. It's a non-physical thing. Non-physical, spiritual, are synonymous, right? And so if your ability, spiritually transmuting means changing its form. Transmuting means transforming it from something that's nebulous into something that is the physical. That is your magic. That is your ability. That is your skill. That is that is the alchemical process, changing something from one form into another, moving the value, moving the currency of something. And so that's what she's saying. Keeping track of it is a testament to who you really are. It's a testament to your personal power. So writing it down, keeping a manifestation journal, or keeping a regular journal, or keeping a dream journal, or keeping a gratitude journal, all of these things of keeping record of your magic is going to show you how powerful you are. It is going to remind you that your power is derived from internal, not anything external to you. It will help you see that. And not only the keeping record of it, the manifestation in itself of it being written down will move the needle. It will move the needle on anything that you want, which is why I kind of recommend writing it down as opposed to just typing it somewhere. You feel me? Does that make sense? Is that making sense to y'all? Let me know. Let me know if that's making sense. Yes. So, gratitude journal, regular journal, manifestation journal, all of that will help you look back at the growth. Looking back at the growth. One thing I want to warn you of is that words are very powerful, though. So, you have to be very mindful of what you write down, what you spell out, what spells you're casting, because words are powerful. Spoken word is powerful, and written word, I feel like written word is even more powerful. I feel like it's even more powerful. So you have to be very cognizant of what you're writing down. You have to be very mindful of what words you put to paper. So just keep that in mind when you are thinking about creating this manifestation journal, or when you're thinking about potentially, writing a bit more in your gratitude journal or your dream journal or your just regular journal. Yeah. Meditation journal, however. But I definitely 100% encourage you to put pencil to paper and really, keep track of the things that you manifest, or even just the things that you desire, so that you can see the unfolding, how it unfolded, from 3 months to now, from 5 months ago to 1 year ago. You know what I mean? So I will tell you, okay, so then, right. So let me tell you a story. And this is primarily for parents. This is primarily for parents. And I get it, I'm not a parent, but I'm still going to tell y'all this story. I have always been a writer, and I want to say this. Writing runs in my blood. My grandmother was a writer. My dad always wanted to write a book, and I found myself being very good with words as well. So I feel like it is something that I inherited. I feel like it's a part of my birthright. I feel like it's a part of my ancestral gift to have a good with words, not only spoken word but written word. But I don't want you to think, seeing 333 on the clock, I don't want you to think that you need to be great with words. Your journal, let me just say this. Second warning. First warning is words are very powerful, and be very mindful of what you write and how you write it. What you write and how you write it. What you speak, the tongue, the power of the tongue, what you speak, how you say it, be mindful of that. But I also want to warn you, second warning is, you're not writing for anybody to read and grade. This is not an assignment that some teacher is giving you that requires you to be grammatically correct and use punctuation and present and past participles and what a noun and verb and all of these things. None of that is necessary. Ain't nobody finna open your journal. I'm about to tell you a story about that. Coming up next, stay tuned for the story when somebody had read my journal and went through my personal stuff. I'm gonna tell you that second. But with your journal as an adult, right? With autonomy over your own things, your own belongings, right? Hopefully, you don't have nobody searching up your things, your personal things. Hopefully, um, you know, you don't have to be worried about. I don't know how to write. I don't know how to spell. I don't know. Did that make sense? Was that? You're not. That's not the concern. The concern is to take something from non-physical into physical and put it on paper. The concern is to keep record of your manifestation, going from just a thought, a fleeting thought and a dream that you had, and coming into physical. You know what I mean? It's keeping record of your power and your ability and your magic, your ability to manifest, right? And so that's important. Spelling is not important. Commas is not important. Did it make sense? Is not important. None of that is important. Sometimes when you're writing, things will come through that don't even make any logical sense, and then you'll see evidence of what you were trying to say tomorrow or the week after that, and you'll be shocked to know that, oh my God, didn't I write some foolishness like that? And the next thing you know, you see it somewhere in a book, on a billboard somewhere. You're like, I just wrote that. Evidence. Right? And so I will say is, don't be worried about it being something that you think you're going to have to turn in for a grade. It's not. It's for your own personal care and records. And it might even be for your children or for somebody you have guardianship over, to show them, to be an example to them of how things move from non-physical into physical, how things are manifested in your life and on this plane. Seeing evidence of it, tracking the story, will show you how things actually unfold here. Will present evidence to you of how things unfold here and in your life. Will show you evidence of your own personal process. We talked about process last for kickback. This will show you, keeping track, keeping record, will show you evidence of your own personal process. So you could get better at it, 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 better at it. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. All right. So don't worry about anybody reading your journal. Don't worry about it being perfect. Don't worry about you not being good with words and grammar and all of that, or spelling. I am not. I could tell you I could talk and I could write, but spelling, thank God for spell check. But I don't care. It's my journal. I know what I meant to say. I know I spelled it like that. I know when I read it back, I know what I was saying. So have the same mindset. It's not for anybody to read. It's for your records. You know what I mean? It's for you to see the evidence of your personal power and your personal abilities and your secret sauce and your process. None of that requires grammatically correct present participle pronouns. Okay? All right. So let me tell you how the people that went through my journal and stopped me from writing for years. And I had to find my way back to my personal magic, my personal empowerment in the form of writing, keeping record of my magicianship. So this is what happened, right? Always liked to write as a little girl. I don't even know my age. I'm going to say, oh, I do. Okay. I'll say something like probably middle school, late middle school, maybe 8th grade, maybe 9th grade, first year high school type things. The doll had a journal, and I'm writing my little foolishness in it. Dear diary, today, Junior said something to me. Foolishness, right? But it was still my personal process. It was still my way of it was still my way of breadcrumbing my manifestations. It was still my way of taking my ideas from the nebulous, from the spiritual, from the physical, the non-physical form, and bringing it onto paper into the physical, right? It is something very personal and sacred to have a diary and a journal, right? So one night I was in my room and I was writing something, and I think I was also watching television. And so this time I'm probably eighth grade, ninth grade. So probably even ninth grade. It might have even been 10th grade. So I might have been, what age is that? What age is like that? 14, maybe 15 or so. So I'm writing in my journal, and I had a little lock on it, and I thought it was protected. I didn't think anything of it. I think I kept it underneath my mattress, or I kept it underneath my stuffed animals, someplace that your nosy parents would definitely be able to find, but still made you feel like, oh, I'm hiding my personal thoughts. Nobody's going to read my journal. So the doll falls asleep. I'm writing in my journal, and I'm laying on the bed, and I'm writing and I fall asleep. Okay. And so a little bit later, I wake up and I notice that my journal is not underneath my hand, and my on my hand where I was resting. So I'm like, what where's my journal? When I look, my journal is sitting up on the chest drawer. I know DB fiance and DB probably know what I'm talking about. The doll's journal is sitting up on the top of the chest drawer. For those of you guys who don't know what chest drawer is, it's the chest of drawers. The big tall chest drawers that stack up in a vertical line. My journal sitting up on top of the chest drawer. How my journal moved from underneath my hand, where I'm writing literally, and I fell asleep on my journal, how it moved from underneath my hand and reach up on top of my chest drawer. Well, as you would have it, one of my parents decided to pull my journal from underneath my hand as I slept, read it, and put it up high so that I could definitely know that they felt it was their right or their prerogative to read my journal. When I tell you that shattered me, when I tell you this is one of the things that people talk about in therapy when they get grown, that this was one of them. Okay? Shattered. Personally violated, shattered. Now, would this particular parent think that that's what they've done? No. What? No, they would never think that that's what they did. But that's exactly what they done did. So the doll, who was an avid journaler, decided to never write in a journal again. Never, never write in a journal again. In fact, I do believe that I actually burned that journal. Shattering. Okay. So then, they no, of course, no, Jamaican parents apology. I think I got recently I got apologies from them. And I can't even go into the story, but recently I got apologies. But at that time, it wouldn't be nothing for them to apologize about. So then, of course, I hear back what I was writing in the journal. And, I'm a teenager. It's foolishness. I was just out of middle school, and so it was kind of foolishness in there, so nothing, stuff that was slightly inappropriate, but it was definitely my personal, it was my personal narrative that I was writing and that I was learning from, and it was a violation. It was a violation. Looking at Lauren in the chat, she's saying, I had a similar experience. I write again, but never with the same vulnerability. I don't know if it's a Pisces thing. I don't know what would possess these parents to think that it's necessary to go through their child's personal journal. I know parents think that, oh, I'm supposed to protect you, and if I don't know what you're thinking, then I could. That's not how you protect children. That's how you damage them. That's how you run up their therapy bill when they get grown. That's how you make them feel like vulnerability. It's totally unsafe to be vulnerable in your own house. So if you are a parent and you see your child writing a journal, mind your business and figure out another way to get your child to communicate with you than violating their personal space. Now, do it if you want to, but I just want you to know that according to me and according to Lauren in the chat here, that was definitely a violation. So don't go in. You could do it if you want to, but don't act like nobody didn't tell you that you are violating your child when you read their journal and you throw them off their track. I felt thrown off of my track. It took me years to get back into journaling. And do you know when I started to journal again? Grown, big, 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 big. This is probably 2000, I want to say 18, when I felt a lot of pressure. And I was like, I should write. I always loved writing. But instead of doing it personally, like in my journal, I would do creative writing, or I would do poetry or things like that. Right in school, I would always get, I got best dissertation when I did my master's because I always liked to write. But instead of writing my personal thoughts, instead of being vulnerable and keeping track of my magic, keeping track of my ability to manifest, keeping track of who I was this year versus who I am this year, keeping track of how my goals have progressed, how my thinking has progressed, keeping track of my process, like you do with a personal journal, I was expending that wanting to write into academia, seeing 5555 on the clock, instead of my personal journey being documented for me because of that violation that I experienced when I was a jit, right? When I was a jit, right? So hold on. Good and Rich says, that is disgusting. I had an experience like that. Look, could have been a parent, could have been a sibling, could have been a cousin, family member, somebody find themselves digging through your personal journal. It is absolutely a violation. So don't do that. Okay. So after I burned the journal, never wrote again, years, decades, spent all of my writing more. I even wrote a play. I wrote a stage play in college. Like I wrote dissertations, like I did, everything was academia. Nothing was my personal development writing. Nothing was keeping track of my magic, keeping track of my manifestation, none of it, because it was too violating to have written that before and to have your parent siphon through it, like it's their right. So years later, probably in 2018, I kept feeling this pull to write. So I got a journal. Now this time I live by myself. I'm grown, bigger man things. You know what I mean? Bigger man things now. And so now I could write, I could leave my journal out on my nightstand. Like ain't nobody gonna go through it. I don't have to hide it or anything like that, or be concerned about the violation of my vulnerability or the violation of my personal expression, right? So I start to write. And when I tell you the revelations that first start out slow, but then pick up momentum as the time goes by, and as your ability to write, and to not only write your own thoughts, but to be able to channel things that you write. You read it back, you're like, did I write this? Your higher self sure did. Your intuitive side sure did. Your angels and your guides and your ancestors sure did. It starts out as just you thinking and writing, and then as you continue to write, as you continue to get in your flow and in your writing bag, to let down your walls and allow yourself to pour out vulnerably onto your own journal, your abilities, your magicianship, your magic, your personal power amplifies exponentially. That is why it is damaging to go through somebody else's journal, especially when they're young in their life, because you throw off their growth. You make them put up walls and build up walls. Don't do that. Don't do that. I don't know where would I have been if I kept writing, you know what I mean? And I do believe, I will say this, I do believe that it's all a part of your journey, your personal journey, Nothing is not without its benefit to you, whether it seems like a bad thing or a good thing, or everything has its benefits, right? And so maybe it was a process of me losing myself and then refinding myself more in my adult years, and really being able to then nurture, nurture the ability, nurture the skill, nurture the magic. Maybe that is a part of the fool's journey. Maybe that is a part of, what was supposed to be in my life. I'm sure it is, because that's what's happened. But I can tell you that it definitely was traumatizing. It definitely was traumatizing. So just know that, if you are compelled to read somebody else's journal, just know that you're a thorn. You're a thorn. So that's my story. Came back to writing and started, with just a regular journal and writing, when I felt like it. Then got back into my meditation and really started writing what was coming through in my meditations and my dreams, and doing some gratitude journaling in there as well. But this conversation is talking specifically, if you want to start anywhere, getting back into writing or journaling, keeping track of your magic, start with a manifestation journal. Just write down everything that you manifested just this week. If you want to go back and say, dang, 3 months ago, go back, you know what? Go back 3 months. Go back to the top of this year. This is 2022. We're at the last day of September in 2022. Think back to January. Now, if you had been writing in your journal, this would be easy, because you could easily just flip back to January and see what you had been talking about. But like, man, I was talking about losing 10 pounds. I was talking about traveling. I was talking about, oh my God, I was so grateful for this. Or, oh, dang, I had really wanted that car. I really wanted a new house. Oh, shoot. And now look, sitting in a new house with a new car, 10 pounds down, a boo thing on the way, whatever things, you wanted, better mindset, more happier. Oh, I was kind of depressed in January and waiting for winter to be over. And now I'm coming out of summer, feeling good. You know what I mean? Better medications, whatever is necessary. Whatever is necessary. If you have been keeping track, that would have been, you can see your progress. But particularly for this conversation, write down the things that you manifested, or the things that you intend to manifest, so that you can see the process of unfolding, so that you can see and document, keep track of the process of unfolding, of manifestations in your life, your ability to manifest, your alchemical process, your ability to transmute, your ability to make something out of nothing. How many of us know how to make something out of nothing? All of us. And if you keep track of that, you will feel so powerful. You will not fear doing anything else in your life, because you have evidence of, what? Everything I touch turns to gold. Everything. Look, back in January, I wanted to X, Y, Z, Y, Z, Y, X. It's September, baby. Look around. It's here. You can't tell me nothing. That's the point of writing down your manifestations, intended and the ones that have materialized for you. That is the point of writing a gratitude journal, or a regular journal, or a dream journal. Putting things from the nebulous, from the non-spiritual, from the ethereal, from ideas onto the physical is the first step in your manifestation process. And then watching the unfolding, so you know your process, you're familiar with your process, you know your own magic. Because you magic. I don't know if anybody ever told you that. But let me be the first to tell you. Cheers. Clink, 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 clink. So that is what I had to say about how and why to keep track of your magic. How and why to keep track of your manifestations, your manifesting power, your alchemical process, going from nothing to something. being careful of the words that you use. I'm just going to say one more little tidbit about being careful of the words that you use. And y'all chime in the comments. Y'all let me know your thoughts. We learn from the collective wisdom of the It's Cows community around here. So I know I'm like talking, but it's definitely an open dialogue. So I invite you to smash the like button. I invite you to subscribe. I invite you to chime in the comments, whether you are watching us live, like Lauren, like DB, like DB's fiance, like Golden Rich, like those of y'all watching but not chiming in right now. Or if you're watching us as a part of the replay gang, drop this emoji in the chat and let me know your thoughts on keeping this manifestation journal so you can keep track of your magic. Your magic. Okay. So, warning, the words that you use, even the words that you speak or the words that you write, particularly, and I'm gonna say this again, because when you write, when you put words to paper, they're very powerful. They're very powerful. You may not know this. When you're writing an academic paper, who cares? When you're writing, a review on, well, I guess you know how powerful that is. Like when you write an Amazon review or something, you wield power. When you write, you can get a sense that you're wielding power when you're writing like a review, right? But that's a little bitty power. You're talking about if what you like, what you don't like about them people's things, but there is power there, right? So just be aware of that. When you are writing your own words, when you are writing your own words, you are a creator. You are creating. You are creating. When you are writing, when you are taking things from non-physical thought, the seed of manifestation, and bringing it onto paper, you are creating. You are becoming a creator. So you need to be mindful of what you are creating. You need to be mindful of what you are creating. So the words that you use, make sure you're using them as uplifting and enlivening, enriching, bringing you up, elevating you or whoever you're talking about. You know what I mean? Now, you have some experiences that you're trying to express, but just be mindful that you're not condemning anyone with your words. Be mindful that you're not inadvertently condemning anyone with your words or creating negative energy about anyone or situation with your words. Make sure you write it in a way that, you're expressing your feeling. If you have to write something negative, you're expressing, but just be mindful of what you're saying. Make sure you're trying to do it in a way that you're leaving room for it to be another way, or leaving room for the answer to come to you. If you're trying to figure something out, or why someone behaved that way, or why you behave that way, leave room in your wording for the answer to come to you, as opposed to condemning someone or condemning yourself, because you are a creator, and writing is one way that you create, right? Okay. So one example would be like, a lot of times they talk about this when you're writing what you desire, what you would like to see in your life, what you're calling in, what you are magnetizing, what you are aligning with, what you are coming into vibrational resonance with. All of that is what you want. Is what you want. That's what I want. That what I want. I want this. I want that. I want that. All of those words are a way of saying what you want. The reason why we don't use the word want, I want. You don't want to write, I want a new car. You don't want because you're creating want. you're I don't know how else to say that. You're creating want. You're going to be, if you're saying I want, that means you want. That means you want it. That means you're licky. Jamaicans will know this. If you're writing I want, that means you're licky. It meaning you beg. You're a beggar. You want it. When I say want it, can't something them say. You're licky. You're too licky. Meaning you're craving. You're craving. You don't want to write yourself into the energy of craving. You want to write yourself into the energy of desiring. Do you see the subtle difference between wanting, I want, and I desire? Desire feels magnetic. It feels positive. It feels alluring. It feels seductive. I want. Scary. I desire. I desire. I want is an energy of lack. Is an energy of lack. I want because I don't have. I desire just because it will make me happier. I lack nothing. Does that make sense? I want gives us feeling of lack. I desire. I want to come into vibrational resonance with. I'd like to magnetize. I'd like to align with. All of those words do not have the feeling of lack to it. They have the feeling of I am good where I'm at, but I want to add some cherries on top. I want to add some icing on top. So be mindful of the words that you use are the most uplifting versions of the words that you can. Now, again, earlier I said, don't worry about, writing. This ain't no dissertation, PhD dissertation or anything like that. I still stand to that. I still stand by that. But I still, I would be remiss. I would be gatekeeping. I will be gatekeeping if I didn't tell you, just be mindful of the words that you use and what they truly represent. What they truly represent. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's my only warning. And and your words are powerful. Powerful creator. You create with your words. And when you write them bad boys down, they're likely going to come in for you. So just be mindful of what you're writing. I do these videos so you're not out here alone in this sometimes crazy living, loving, dating, leveling up, ascending world. If this is your first time here, I'd love to have you subscribe. It's a free and easy way to support the doll, to support the content, to support the collective. And if you're an oldie but a goodie, good looking out, replay gang, drop this emoji in the chat. Let me know if you want to talk about meditation next time, just drop meditation. Let me know if you're happy to talk about magic, just drop magic. And let me know if you want to talk about what we talked about last time. Ooh, your shadow self. If you want to talk about that, drop shadow in the chat. Thank you for joining us. I see us in the chat. Join the Blue Zone fam. Yes, boo, you late. We go live at 7 o'clock, 7:15, thereabouts, each and every Friday night. This is week 40. On our way to week 52, consistently every single week. Live for 2022. And we're going to see what we're going to do for 2023. Right? So with that being said, if the collective will let me go, if I can be excused for the evening, I will bid you guys good night. Bye, guys.